Right. Yeah, I get it. Man, it's been a while. Back again with Coffee Grind Live. Music. Yeah. All right, we are live here. We've got oh, wait a minute, why is it starting over? Okay. Yeah, oh, it was on loop. It wasn't supposed to be on loop, but hello. Back again, Coffee Grind Live. Let me take a quick second and share out this stream, and then we'll be good to go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a while. Let's share this out real quick. Since okay. I don't think Mercury's in retrograde. Boy, it's trying me today. I know it's not a retrograde, but it is trying me today. All right, just gonna try to share. All right, we're not sharing the stream. Anyways, welcome, welcome everybody to Coffee Ground Live. Today, we're gonna talk about the topic of know thyself. This is a topic that I've talked about on my Instagram, on my um, TikTok. Talked about it on multiple platforms before in short format. Today we're going to talk about it in a longer format. I'm still trying to get this to share, so give me just a second, y'all. So, 'cause everything I am locked out of. It's like everything here on my Facebook, on this computer. Boom, we're in there. So, so I figured today. So I was actually listening to some Billy Carson on the YouTubes. One of the people that I consider a quote unquote mentor. I got plenty of mentors, people that just I follow their work, follow their stuff, and it kind of just speaks to me, and they mentor me. So without even having met them, just by the stuff that I see from them online, books and all that kind of stuff. And Billy Carson is one of those, and he started coming back. His stuff started, the matrix or algorithm started bringing his stuff back into my life. A couple of weeks ago, what's interesting is I always, like I said, I think I have mentors that, they can mentor me through their work without even knowing that they are mentoring me. And for a while, I was getting a lot of Kobe stuff, and that was when I was doing my training for the run. And then recently, because the run, was yesterday, so that came to an end. So recently, the river run, Billy Carson started showing back up, and then my buddy Jay actually sent me a video, Billy Carson video, and I was like, okay, it's time for me to go down that rabbit hole. I have different people that pop up from time to time, like Jordan Peterson, Yogananda, a bunch of other different folks. And so Billy Carson popped up, and it's something that he said in there maybe led me down the rabbit hole of knowing thyself, because I was really wanting to get back to a podcast, if you want to call it a podcast, YouTube show, whatever. Really wanted to get back to it because I took a couple of weeks off, and I was like, okay, I don't know really. I don't have a guest yet. Not sure 100% what I want to talk about. So I was going to talk about don't quit. But then something that he said in his podcast, I was like, no, we're going to talk about know thyself. So we're gonna go deep, y'all. Grab yourself some coffee and let's go. Pretty good. That's the French vanilla coffee with some caramel creamer. Pretty good. So knowing the know thyself, that we've heard that before, and like I said, if you've been on my YouTube and my Instagram, you've been on my TikTok, you've heard me talk about it. But I want to talk about like really what does that mean? Why is it so important? And like how do you go about it? And some steps past even the knowing thyself phase. So I think it is first of all, I think it's very important to know thyself because that's the springboard for everything. And let me take it back to what I really mean by knowing thyself, right? And if you're here, say hello. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Facebook user. Again, StreamYard is one of those where if you don't actually verify, it won't say. But let's go, Facebook user. Let's go. We'll probably see who it is afterwards. Um, but yeah, knowing thyself is important because I think a lot of us don't know ourselves. We know who we think we are, not 100% who we are. And realistically, if we um kind of break it down a little bit, we can really go real deep with that know thyself because one of the things that was in the book, I believe is in the book from Yogananda, autobiography of a yogi, and he was younger and he was talking to somebody and one of his yogi masters, and they were talking about, well, who are you? All right, and that's a question that I think really starts to know thyself. Like, who are you? And then you can kind of go to there's a bunch of different ways to go there, right? So you can go to the well, you can go to your name, like I'm Chauncey Scott. Well, no, that's a name. That's actually two names put together. That's just a name. So then you can go to well, UNF grad, graduate of Fletcher High School, UNF grad, devoted father, all this stuff. No, that's your list of accomplishments. That's somebody that you were, that you, those are things that you've done in this lifetime during this iteration. But, that's just some of the things that you've done. So when you really start stripping back all the layers of identity, you can say, "Hey, I born and raised as a Christian." Okay, it's another label. African American. Boom, that's still another label. When you start really kind of looking at it, you got a bunch of different labels that you're trying to use that we always use to identify who we are, and so we can get caught up, right? You can really get caught up into those labels, into those titles that we give ourselves, be it that it's a name, be it that it's a race, a religion, be it that it is the things that we've accomplished, titles, you know, reverend, doctor, whatever that might be. We can really get caught up in that and really identify ourselves with that. And then we really don't know who we are. And when you strip all that away, it's again, in my opinion, my show, so my opinion, right? So when you strip all that away, at the end of the day, we are all the things that we are trying to title, right? That's just the avatar. That's just this vessel that we're in. We strip all that away. And we're gonna go deep tonight, y'all. We're gonna go deep. You strip all that away, you are a soul having this human experience. Everything else is just attached to that avatar that your parents named. We don't even get to name ourselves, right? Well, some people do. Some people rename themselves, or what have you. But you're not the name of the avatar that you've come in here as. You're not the experiences that you've had because those experiences are memories. They're just literally all in here at this point. You might have some video you recorded to remind you of that thing, but it's all those things are just memories, right? So at the end of the day, we are the consciousness behind this, like I said, this avatar, this body that we are encompassing right now. And if you want to take it a step further, in my opinion, we are the entity consciousness that is attached to that source of all. And some people like to identify as God. There's so many different names that people throw to it, but that source of creation of everything. I like to call it source energy because I don't think that is, God can be defined. And we try to throw that throw that entity in the box just like we try to throw ourselves in the box. So we are that soul connected to source, God, universe, whatever name you want to put on the door. So, and why is it important to kind of get down to that level? Is because once you get to that level of understanding, then you can build back up. These headphones are not working with me today. Once you get to that level of understanding, then you can build back up because everything else is kind of an even playing field, right? Because a lot of the things that we go to, we realize isn't us. Like, that our thoughts that we have. It's like, that's not really you. Those are just thoughts that are coming, they're going. So you start to begin to truly understand those things, and it becomes a become you can start and level up, and you can move yourself up, you can level yourself up from there, and you can start to see and understand a lot of, if you really kind of detach yourself, and I would urge everybody to do this. Allow yourself to just go on autopilot for a little while and just become the observer. One thing that really helps with that is meditation, but become the observer. And when you become the observer, you really can begin to see the patterns that you have. The So you see the patterns that you have. You can see the programming that you've had from a kid, and so on and so forth. And then you can start to really see these things once you kind of detach from it and you look at yourself from the outside, as if you didn't like, as if, like Jordan Peterson like to say, as if you weren't yourself, as if you were a stranger to yourself. You go on autopilot and you become aware. Then you start really seeing some of these things that you might not have even known was there. And then you can start to investigate. You can really start to investigate. Okay, is this something that is me, or is this something that was programmed? Is this something that I truly believe in, or is it something that I believe I'm supposed to believe in because of the way I was raised? You can really start kind of understanding from a soul level, what is that, who you really are. And that's, I think, is the true know thyself. It's not really the know what makes you tick, know what makes you really, happy. I mean, it's not really any of those things. At the end of the day, it is when you go down into it and you start looking at it, you start looking at, boom, what are these things programmed? Are these things true stuff that I really believe, or is this, conditional programming from the way that society is, conditional programming from, years of generational stuff in the family? What is the real reason that I am doing these things? Then when she, like I said, you got to get down to that base level of knowing that you're not your body. Set Gurus has a wonderful meditation, Isha Kriya. I would definitely suggest doing that one. But when you get down to that level of, I'm not my body, I'm not even my mind. So then you realize that, hey, you're that base level energy, that consciousness that is kind of running everything at this moment. Then you can, like I said, you can start examining. You start looking at it. And I definitely would say start with meditation. Any meditation like the Isha Kriya is great, but just sitting there with your thoughts. And this is one that I lead people through on TikTok quite a bit, and I need to get back to those lives. But any meditation where you're just sitting there with your thoughts, and you're not trying to stop the thoughts, you're not trying to clear your mind, you're just literally allowing the thoughts to go by, you're allowing them to pass by. And you realize once you do that, and then you can, like, kinda clear your mind, and you let the next thought come, you kinda clear your mind, and you, let the next thought come without judgment. We're not gonna judge these thoughts on what they are, right? So when you start sitting there and listening to these thoughts and you begin to realize and what you really want to come to is you're the observer of your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. So that's kind of the first thing that you realize that your thoughts may come and go, but you're the observer. You're not your thoughts. You're not you're I mean they are not you. So you start there. Then again, like I said, you can begin to because one thing us humans do wonderfully is we go on autopilot. So you can begin to kind of let yourself go on autopilot a little bit. And then as you're going on autopilot, then you're more set, well, after that meditation, to be the observer. And then you just start observing kind of the patterns that you do, kind of some of the things that you will just automatically, that you automatically do. So then once you got that, then you can start. Then I think you can start going into some of the other things that we talked about before. Then you can start identifying your ego self, and then you can start identifying kind of the shadow, and you could kind of a little bit better see where those two different sides of yourself kind of where they split off from and where they came from. And then you could it'll also help with the shadow work, and then you can start peeling back the layers of, okay, well, this came from this, which is a little bit less important to know where it came from and more important to know what the shadow is and what your ego is. But then you can just start attacking. The like if there's something in the shadow that it needs to be integrated, and vice versa. That you just need to integrate, and there's some things that you just aren't used to doing because it's the shadow and your ego is that's not you, right? Then, you can start, and what I mean by attacking is just doing those habits, performing those things to be make it habitual to integrate and become that version of yourself that, maybe, speaks up for themselves. Maybe that doesn't allow things to just, simmer beneath the surface. You might be, start becoming that type of person that knows how to communicate better or what have you. Whatever it is that's in that shadow side, the person that asks for help, that person that whatever it is. It's 40 million things we could talk about that's in that shadow side that we need to integrate into the ego. But you got to start off with, like I said, you got to break it down to the simplest level that you're a soul in this avatar of a body, driving it here on Earth, basically. Then we can work backward. Then we can work out to allowing this kind of avatar to kind of go on cruise control, see what happens, see what patterns pop up, then you can start working within those patterns. And that's why knowing thyself is so important, and it goes way beyond just knowing what your likes and dislikes are and that type of stuff. So know thyself. Kind of a short version of it. Let me get my coffee here. Looks like we got. I just figured this out. I can go up here and boom. It says we got one person in the Facebook group that has joined. Thank you, person. It doesn't tell me who you are, but thank you for being here and watching me. Looks like you kept popping in and out, or somebody from that group kept popping in and out. So that is what I have for today. Know thyself. I think I covered everything that I want to cover. Yeah, breaking it down to the latest. Yep. Let me go. Actually, I've got a little set of notes here. Make sure I got everything in my notes, and we're gonna sign off. We're gonna be done. I ain't gonna hold you long. Just wanted to come in and check on everybody. See how everybody doing and stuff. 'Cause it's been a while. We got some guests I'm trying to lock down, so that'll be good. Coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Let's see. Yep. Talked about self awareness, self reflection, self acceptance. Um, why it's important. Self knowledge. Yep. Journaling, meditation, self reflection. We already talked about. I think we hit everything, y'all. The first time we hit everything on the bat from the bat. So that's all I got for you today. Look out for it. We're gonna be doing coffee grind. Like I said, Coffee Ground is gonna be every Sunday. Where the time will fluctuate. It'll be sometime between 5 and 7, 8ish. But we are going to be doing this live. I might take a break here and there, but hey, going forward, we're going to continue to do these and have these on a weekly basis. And if you miss it live, you can't comment and enjoy and come in and have conversation with me. You can still catch it on the replay. Upon the replay, you can still catch it upon the replay. That's what I got for you today. I appreciate everybody that was here, everybody that popped in, everybody that popped out. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all. I love you. Stopping by. Say, oh, no. Here we go. This is what I look for.